Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. Today is the 10th of June 2026. It is roughly 23 minutes past 9 New York time. We are about 6.5 minutes away from opening. So we're going to jump straight into the charts and see what our specific liquidity levels are for today. Before we do that, let's quickly pop over to the economic calendar for today. As we can see, we had high impact news come in the form of CPI earlier on today at roughly 8:30 a.m. Now, fortunately, that has no effect on us because we are only looking to participate from about 9:30 onwards. So we also have news coming in tomorrow in the form of initial jobless claims, which usually take place on a Thursday. And once again, that news is only going to be happening at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, again, we will not be affected by that because we are only looking to trade from 9:30 onwards. So let's jump into it. I'm going to start us off by dropping a vertical line on the new day open. I'll go ahead and mark that. Okay, there you go. And then what we will also do I'm just gonna draw out the vertical line on new day open for the Nasdaq, the S&P, and now we are on the Dow. Note that new day open is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is like that for every single pair, okay? Brilliant. So now that we have new day open marked, what I'm going to do here is look at the extreme low and the extreme high. Now, the low is my sell side liquidity in the form of current day low, hence we say CDL. And likewise, I am looking right now at the high of day, which is my buy side liquidity level in the form of current day high. Now, what's interesting to note here is we need to take a look at yesterday's trading range and note how on yesterday's trading range yesterday we have still not yet seen a rating either buy side or sell side for yesterday. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and mark that level out as well. We are going to say that is previous day high. We're going to copy that, then we are going to shoot it down all the way here to previous day's low. Alright, and the reason I'm doing that is because we are still trading within yesterday's range. Now, ideally, we will see a breakout in either the buy side or sell side, as well as previous days high or low. Okay, so we've got ahead and done that. Then on the S&P 500, we are going to go ahead and mark that as our previous day low. We can copy that and make it previous day low. Current day low. Apologies. So there you can see today's training range. What I will do here is quickly put a vertical line on yesterday's opening price. We'll go ahead and should probably create templates for this so that we don't have to do it again. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark our previous day high. So you'll note that the S&P as well as the Dow Jones have not yet taken our previous day high. Okay, we are still within yesterday's trading range. And usually when price does that, it's acting as a form of accumulation. We saw that in yesterday as well, where if price is within previous day's range, we are probably going to see a very good price run within this current session. I'll quickly mark out yesterday's opening price as well. This is now for the Nasdaq. Alright. Chaps, if I spell stuff wrong, who really cares, mate? You know? Like, you guys will know what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to get at. All right. Now we've marked our previous day low. Now we're gonna go and do current day low. All right. For those of you who are a bit confused, this is the 15-minute time frame. Then we're gonna mark our current day high. Okay. And this we're gonna change to previous day high. So we can see that on every single one of our indices, we are yet to take out previous day high and low. So let's go through, okay? The Nasdaq has previous day high, buy side. We also have the buy side level in form of current day high, as well as sell side, current day low over here, and sell side, which is previous day's low, okay? Perfect. Then on the S&P, we also have two buy-side liquidities in the form of previous day high. We also have current day high. Then we have two sell-side levels still open in the form of current day low as well as previous day's low. To the Dow Jones likewise has two buy-side liquidity levels that we are currently monitoring. One in the form of previous day high and another in the form of current day high. Now, we also have two sell-side levels open in the form of current day low as well as previous day low. So we are approximately 15 seconds away from opening. We have marked out all of our particular levels. We are fairly happy with this approach thus far. That pretty much concludes my pre-market prep as well. So now what we're going to do is minimize these screens, and we are going to see all of our indices right next to one another. And that marks the opening price. So let's see what price does. Now I have three different models that I'm going to essentially be choosing between. I have two reversal models and one continuation. Of the two reversal models I will be using today, one of them is on a 5-minute time frame, the other is a 15 or half an hour time frame. And then we have one continuation method, which is essentially a 1-minute sculpting model. Those are the two trades that we actually took yesterday. We managed to take two scalps, took two trades, won two trades. So we're going to be going for blood today. We want 100% win rate every day. We were able to do that yesterday. It was a very good day. Highly recommend you guys go and give that video a look. I was able to highlight as well as determine the correct draw on liquidity, which essentially allowed us to get in the 1-minute model. But like I said, there is no more high economic news for today. You can see that we've pretty much cleared all of it at 8:30. So the only thing left for us to do is drum roll, wait. My absolute favorite thing in the world is to wait. Alright. I'm going to sit back. I will let you guys know what my thoughts are exactly. But for now, still very early on in the session. We just opened. The best thing for us to do is essentially just to sit on our hands and see what price has for us. I will keep you guys updated. Until then, take care, enjoy the music, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Cool. Alright, what I do want to do now is quickly just run through the end-of-season trading view, and I want to make sure that I've got price alerts set on all of our levels. So what we're going to do here is make the screen a little bit bigger, that way we can focus and see the full lay of the land on our specific asset. Now, this is the S&P 500, okay? So I've got my price alarm set on the current day low. I've also got my model set on previous day low. Now, my two major draws on liquidity for today will either be previous day high or previous day low. I don't know if we'll go for both of them. It's completely dependent on what our indices do in tandem with one another. But for the S&P, as we speak right now, it will be previous day's low. All right. Current day low is also, yes, a valid level for us to look for. But because we have not raided any of previous day high or lows liquidity, that is my drawn liquidity. Likewise, it was my drawn liquidity in yesterday's session for the Dow, and we were able to successfully trade to it. Now, I don't know if you guys were active in the marketplace yesterday, but monster moves, all right? A lot of people made some good money. If you didn't, don't worry, we're going to do our absolute best to replicate that performance in today's session. I highly recommend you guys go and look at the latter parts of yesterday's live stream. That's obviously where we took the trade. I'd say from about like an hour in. First hour was pretty dead. It was essentially just setting us up. But in the first hour, I do highlight exactly why I was not looking to go long and why I was looking to go short. So that might be very, very important for some people. But yeah, completely up to you. Watch it, don't watch it. It makes no difference to me, mate. I'm doing this for you, doing this for myself. So, with that said, we are currently moving down. We've just had the first 5-minute candle close on our indices. We are currently looking to be somewhat bearish on the previous 5-minute close. Now, of course, anything can happen once more. So, we just want to remain patient, stay vigilant, and I will keep you guys updated as always. Sit back, enjoy the music, and see you soon. Or I'll talk to you soon. I am quickly going to show you guys what my bias is for these particular assets right now. Go ahead and make it about 20. Okay, so right now I am pretty much neutral on all of my assets. And the reason I'm neutral is that we have not had any form of, well, we have had a minor sell side raid found within that first 5-minute candle on the Nasdaq, S&P, as well as the Dow Jones, but Obviously, if all three of our indices raid the same specific swing point, there's not really a cracking correlation. There's not exactly any smart money participation. We can't exactly begin our market maker buy model off of that. We do need a cracking correlation, which essentially just shows that one of our indices is lagging, whereas the other one has taken liquidity successfully. So for right now, once again, just remain patient. What I am currently monitoring now is the Dow Jones. We are clearly still at a 15-minute bearish candle. Now, fingers crossed we do close bearish in the first 15 minutes on the Dow Jones, and we close bullish on the Nasdaq as well as the S&P, because that would essentially give me a little bit more confidence to go long on the Dow Jones, and we would target the buy side liquidity in form of previous day high. So this would be my target. Well, that is my target on all our pairs. So completely dependent on whichever one decides to hit it first. But as soon as one of them hit it first, I'm no longer looking to go long. I can, however, still trade past this buy side liquidity level. We might see a lower time frame scalp, a continuation model, same as what we saw yesterday. But once again, time will tell. The last thing I want to do is give you guys a narrative that doesn't come into fruition. So I'm just gonna remain patient. Obviously, I do have a brief idea of what I would want price to do, but I have no control over price. I have no control over time. I understand these are two faculties out of my control, and I can only control the inputs, okay? The only input that I can control right here, right now, is to stay in front of my screen, to essentially separate myself from any form of distraction and just stay focused. Quite literally lock the fuck in for these next 2.5 hours and do my absolute best from a technical standpoint in order to interpret price, and not only interpret it, but to successfully react off of price's movements. So for right now, neutral on the Nasdaq, neutral on the S&P, neutral on the Dow Jones. I am just waiting to see what happens with this 15-minute candle close. If you see, we are now turning to a bullish candle. We have about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left of this particular candle. Fingers crossed we do see some form of bearish close on the 15-minute candle for the Dow. That would essentially give us a good reason to want to go long on this pair, targeting either the form of current day high. But like I said, since we still have previous day high open on every single one of our indices, that is my major draw on liquidity today. I repeat, either previous day high or previous day low is the draw on liquidity for today. Alright, that is what I'm trying to do. Now, completely dependent on what type of model we get, whether it's a reversal model or even a scalping model, will essentially determine what we are looking for in price. Okay, but for right now, in this time right here, I could see a possible 5-minute reversal taking place, where we're essentially seeing strength on the Nasdaq and Dow, whereas we cannot see the same thing on our other pairs. I'll highlight that for you right now. And then on the Dow, we cannot see that same thing. Alright, that would be a potential scenario for us to take. Now, the Dow does look like it will raid that specific level, so we're not really going to focus on this one, which is exactly why I keep saying to you guys, I don't want to give you guys I don't really want to expose what's going on in my head, because once again, I would be doing this dozens of times, and price is not always going to print out the price action that we want from an ideals perspective. So rather just want to remain patient, wait until I can see the candle, until I'm very certain that the candle is going to close in my favor. I will not be looking to act on it. All right. So with that in mind, we have 1 minute left of this 15-minute candle close. It does look like the Dow is going to close bullish, so that pretty much just kills the opportunity for one of my particular models. Now we have 2 left. Okay, the moment we see a red and buy side liquidity, we can quite literally only go for 1. So, well, technically we can still go for 2. Technically we can still go for 2, but we will have to go on a bearish stance. All right. Alright, so you guys are going to hear a couple price alarms come through any moment now on the Nasdaq as well as the S&P. But remember, like I said, I'm not so much concerned with the buy side in form of current day high. What I am rather targeting is the buy side resting above in the form of previous day high. Alright, that is going to be my magnet. Okay, I'm expecting one of the indices to go for it. I cannot tell you which one that is, but I do have a very high conviction that we will see at least one of these indices raid that particular level. I do just want to make sure that we all see them. Okay. So what I'm gonna essentially do is quickly just get out the emojis. Alright, now you guys will have a much better depiction as to what is going on in my mind. Mate, come on, bro. Play with me. Well, don't play with me, bro. Just work with me. That's what I meant to say. Fuck. Tripping, bro. Damn. Too many drugs in my day. Alright, so there you go. That buy side is going to act exactly how the picture depicts a magnet. Now, a magnet has two purposes. It's either going to attract price or it is going to force it to repel. Now, what I am interested in right now is this particular common BISI, alright, that is formed on the S&P as well as the Dow. Alright, I want to see some form of lower time frame SMT occur. If we can get that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm not gonna mark that out. I'm not gonna label it, is what I was gonna say. Okay, so let's zoom a little bit further in. Okay, we're gonna go on the 1 minute. I'm gonna see if we can't find a little sculpt here. Right, now, ideally, we get one of our indices to take out this specific swing low. I am really hoping it is either on the Nasdaq or the S&P, because the Dow has not quite made that common swing low. And obviously, below common swing lows is what is known as sell side liquidity. In this case, the sell side is minor sell side, because it's a very short-term liquidity, whereas the other buy side and sell side that I've been referring to is current day high as well as previous day high and low. Alright, so let's remain patient. Let's see what price can give us here. Now, right now, I don't see a cracking correlation. We've obviously traded below those common swing points once again on all of our particular indices. So just want to remain patient. I want to see if we can't get that cracking correlation. If we do though, then I will be looking to go, if we get all of our confluences come to play, where we can form a market maker buy model now with within this busy buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance, then I will be looking to go long. Alright. I don't know how much I'll risk as of yet, but I just figured it out. Alright. So let's see what price does. Good reaction off of this particular level, but we've not gotten that. We've not gotten a sweep in sell side. I mean, yes, a sweep. Well, we have gotten a sweep in sell side, but there's not a cracking correlation behind it. So I don't really have anything to pin this particular trade off of. I don't want to take trades where all of my indices are essentially doing the same thing. I do want to see a cracking correlation. It essentially just tells me that smart money is in the marketplace, or it is being there's institutional sponsors. There's no institutional sponsorship in this particular move right now. Ideally, I see institutional sponsorship in a move later on. That is essentially the cornerstone of our particular trading setup. If I do not get that, I cannot go forward with my trading plan. I need that to happen in order to move to stage 2. Then I need a confluence to happen in stage 2 in order to go to stage 3. And so on and so forth until we get the opportunity to enter, because all of our criteria or scenarios or whatever the fuck you want to call it pans out. We have our plan in place, then we can enter. But for right now, sitting on my hands, not doing anything. As we drop over to the 5-minute time frame once more, we can see a very good rejection of that particular common BISI. Just a bit unfortunate that we have not gotten that cracking correlation or SMT. Let's see if the let's see if the Dow cannot come further down now. That would be a very, very, very good thing for us to happen. Like I said, we need to see SMT. It's essentially the cornerstone of our setup. If we don't get SMT, we can't move forward. So hopefully you guys understand. But as always, comment down below. I'm more than happy to go over whatever you guys would like me to discuss. If there are a couple of concerns, maybe you guys have some queries, comment down below. I see fuck all comments. I'm pretty sure you guys agree with me when I say Jesus is Lord. And that pretty much brings us on to today's sponsor. Today's sponsored by the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I thank the Lord every single day. He laid down his life, now I have mine. Truly, what a treat, what a privilege. All glory be unto his holy name, eh? Alright guys, I'm not seeing anything right now. I've got my eyes glued to the screen so you guys don't have to. But right now with the Dow is moving a little bit further down where the other two indices are failing to do that exact same thing. That is ideal. That's exactly what we want to see. We are just going to remain patient once more. If we can see a raid in that common low on the Dow found right over here where the S&P or Nasdaq cannot do the same thing, that essentially starts the that will act as my SMT, and that's what I want to see ideally. Either that or on the Nasdaq or the S&P, either or, doesn't really matter. We just do need to see some form of minus sell side sweep before we have a change in state of delivery towards the upside. Once again, I am not only targeting buy side liquidity in form of current day high that you can see on your screen. There is previous day's liquidity. Alright, so let's keep that in mind. We do not only have one price objective towards the upside, but we now have two. Alright, so it's even more reason or confluence for us to look for long opportunities. Now, whether we get that early on in the session or later on in the session, and only time will tell. I have no control over time. What I can control is my behavior, is my focus, and I am here to win. All right, we're not here to mess around. We're not here to play games. We are here to do our due diligence, get in, get out, as cleanly as humanly possible. So stay tuned. I am watching the screens. I will let you guys know what my thoughts are. But for now, I want to see a minus sell side sweep on those 1 minute lows. I'll quickly go out, mark that. But for now, sit back, enjoy the music, and just keep your attention on the screen. Alright guys, so we have just seen a sweep on that 1 minute common swing point on the Nasdaq, where we have not been able to get the same thing on our S&P or the Dow. Now, a liquidity sweep is not good enough for me. I need to see some form of liquidity raid. Alright, what I mean by that is I need to see the candle close below that level and not just the wick go past it. That is a liquidity sweep with the wick, but we've not had a liquidity raid. And when we pair both those concepts up, it essentially forms a purge of liquidity where we have taken everything. All right, we violated the low in form of the wick, and we violated the open or close, where the candle starts essentially. Okay? For some of you might know that as a rejection block. That to me qualifies a proper SMT. Okay, so regardless of what we do right now in this particular 1 minute, even if we change the standard delivery, it's not enough for me. We're going to remain patient. It's a bit unfortunate. I was really hoping we could get a close below that specific level, but price does seem to be wanting to expand now. So remain patient once more, and I will keep you guys updated. Cool. Alright guys, there you go. We have just gotten a price notification for the S&P taking out its current day high. I'd once more like to iterate the fact that I'm still looking to go long, okay? Completely dependent on what price actually gives us. But for right now, I'm still comfortable with a long position. Still looking at a possible S&T in this particular 5 minute city. Even though I would have ideally been in the trade before S&P hit its buy side, so that might actually contradict what we are looking to do when taking a long in this 5 minutes VC. But once again, we'll see. Price will give us everything we need, and from there we will act promptly. So I am looking at the charts, guys. Don't worry. To all my thousands, millions, and trillions of viewers, subscribers, likers, and commenters, I do thank you lot for all being here. And stay tuned for more technical brilliance from T-Source. Alright, now I've just changed my bias on the S&P to bearish. I'm probably still going to take a long for that particular setup, but the reason I put bearish bias, that's for a different trading model of mine, which revolves around a possible reversal. But for this particular scenario, I am looking to still go towards the upside, okay? I want to see at least one more of my indices take out that particular buy side level in form of current day high. And once again, ideally we are still going for previous day high. That is my main drawn liquidity. Either previous day high or previous day low. But stay tuned. I'm gonna keep the mark on. My laptop makes a fuck ton of noise, chaps. I'm sorry about that. Not really something I can control at this very moment in time. But yeah, let's see what we can do. I've just updated my swing points here. Let's put that back. See, there are many common swing points happening now. I mean, there's one there, there's now one over there, and we are going to be monitoring all of them, okay? And the reason is that we can perhaps see if we can't sculpt the market to go long. Alright. Okay, so the common swing that I'm talking about now, the newest one that has just formed, is at 10.05, right? Then the previous one that I'm looking at is either at 10 or 10.05, completely dependent on which pairs you're looking at. On the Nasdaq, it is, I mean, not 10.05, 10.01. Sorry, I forgot we were on the 5 minute time frame. Alright, but what I do want to do is also keep an eye on the S&P 500, okay? Very crucial. Quite a lot will need to happen in order for us to start trading lower, but I am still neutral on this. I'm neutral on the other indices, okay? Okay, let's get a better lay of the land. Just look at the 15 minute. Been a while since we checked this one out. Okay, so I can see a pussy cap, alright? Okay. fair enough. Nasdaq's already traded into that common 15-minute, or was it the one I was looking at? Okay, the Nasdaq has already traded through it. That's alright. But like I said, we did not get that particular trade set up, so there's not much we can do about that. We're not going to chase price. Right, now the fortunate thing is the Nasdaq's probably going to go now towards the buy side liquidity in form of current day high. We have already seen that on the Dow. The S&P, the Dow is showing relative weakness at this particular time. What I am going to do now? What am I going to do now? Aren't you lot curious? We're going to wait. We do a lot of that as traders. If you don't like that, you need to fuck off to a different industry. Because that is just the nature of the game. Now, what could happen? We could very possibly get a reversal model on the 5-minute time frame, alright, and that would be pretty ideal for us. But we would need to see a change in stated delivery here on the S&P. I need a bearish close below that level. I also need a bearish close below this particular level, and on the Dow, I would need a bearish close below that level. Alright, so. This would be my breaker, this would be my mitigation, also another mitigation here. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to take away that particular swing point. I'm going to away all of them, to be honest with you, because it's just a little bit too messy for me right now. I do want to get this chart looking nice and clean. Right, so let's see what happens on this 5-minute. Alright, now with the Dow Jones, if we could be looking for at a very good setup. Alright, we could be looking for a possible 1:2. Bear in mind, we are also still looking at the 1-minute chart for a potential scalp. Not looking like we are wanting to go down, so it seems that institutional order flow is still pointing towards the upside. How can I tell? Is because we don't have a down close candle, we don't change stated delivery. Should we get that, we would move from a market maker buy to a market maker sell, and that would be optimal for sell side to get hit. What sell side? Sell side in form of current day low and previous day low. Now the cool thing about the Dow Jones levels is that they are pretty much right next to one another, and looking at that, it's actually quite cool to see that. It just make a lot more sense for the Dow to want to go lower. Now on the Nasdaq, we've just made another high, a new high, also seen on the S&P. The Dow is somewhat lackluster. Alright, now with the Dow, we can clearly see some weakness over here. I'll do you guys a favor and draw that out. So there you can see on the Dow, we are unable to take out that particular level, whereas on the S&P, we have already taken it out. And on the Nasdaq, we have also just taken it out. But once again, I'm not only looking at the wicks, I need to see closes above that specific level. So over here on the S&P 500, we can clearly see that that has occurred, whereas on the Dow Jones, we are still relatively far away from closing above there. So if the Dow can close below here, that would be a change in stated delivery on my pair showing weakness. Very good. We would then just need to see it on the S&P, Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq is not closed above here. Alright, I'm looking at the body and the wick simultaneous with one another. S&P to me is not only the wick, it is both wick and body. Okay, the wick does the damage, the body tells the story. So the story needs to be that we've seen that particular level hit. Now something's just gone on where Price is immediately reversing. Let's see if we have not maybe gotten a short-term scalp available to us. Unfortunately though, I do not see that happening, and I'm fairly confident that we probably won't see it. I mean, the Dow does seem like it wants to now push somewhat higher. What I'm going to do is keep the S&P on its 1 minute, keep the Nasdaq on the 1 minute. I'm monitoring the Nasdaq and the S&P for a possible scalp towards the upside, but I'm looking at the 5 minute on the Dow to see if we can perhaps start seeing weakness, a fall, and that would essentially give us the prime opportunity to go short within the market. I'm rubbing my hands together because it's fucking cold in this room. But yeah, we're out here, chaps. Alright, so the Dow Jones is currently pushing lower on the 5 minute. We have about 3 seconds remaining. 2, 1. That closes that 5 minute candle. We are bearish on the Dow on the previous 5 minute candle. We want to see what this next 5 minute candle does. Whether or not we can change the standard delivery is completely going to change the overall bias for this particular session. Now, fingers crossed we do get that. If, however, we do not, we are prepared. Just looking at my constant lows and highs and whatnot. Let's see if we can't see a raid in those. Alrighty then. So if the Nasdaq continues its downwards trajectory as is right now, I could be looking at a possible short on either the Nasdaq, on either the Dow or the S&P 500. Now this is going to be fairly interesting to see what happens within these next 4 minutes. Either see what I'm going to do here is we're going to go pretty big on this trade. I'm not going to lie to you lot. This is a high conviction trade. Alright, but we might have our S&T on the 1 minute. So you see, I'm torn in between here now. I really am. I'm torn in between going long on the 1 minute or going short on the 5 minute. Now, neither one of them has panned out thus far. So for right now, we're not going to do fuck all. But we are actively monitoring. I'm either going to go... Well, it does seem like we are probably going to be going long on either the Nasdaq or the Dow. Other than Nasdaq or the S&P. Okay, we want to see what this next 1 minute candle does. What I'm going to do thus far is go ahead and calculate my specific lots to see what we could possibly do. Okay, so I'm going to calculate my lots for long. I'm going to go... .57 if that is a successful scenario. Yo. Alright, so if we do go short, if we do go long, this is for longs, alright? we're just going to have to remain patient here. It is a little bit confusing right now because we've essentially got two specific scenarios that could pan out. Now, both will not happen, alright? It's going to be either or. So, with the... I'm just a little bit more comfortable taking the higher time frame setup, which would be the short on a 5 minute, but I just want to remain patient. We have about 30 seconds remaining on this particular 5 minute, and the Dow Jones does look like it's got its own plans, not looking like it wants to chill at all. Very interesting, very, very interesting session this is, so far. Okay, so we do have that change in state of delivery on the Dow. We do not have it yet on the S&P, and the Nasdaq is not exactly something I'm looking at for a potential short right now, but if we are looking at the 1 minute, we could possibly see a change in state of delivery on our indices. I would need to see the S&P close above there. I would need to see the Nasdaq close above there, and that would essentially put us in a very good position to want to go long. Likewise, for shorts, we would need to see a 5 minute bearish close below this particular candle right there. So one could say that we should see that very shortly. We should see either a market maker buy or a market maker sell model happen very, very shortly. Now, the fact that the Dow has gone ahead and violated that particular low found over here, if we can either see the Nasdaq or the Nasdaq or the S&P do that, then that would be ideal. Chaps, I am bursting right now. I need to quickly just run over to the bathroom. We'll be back, alright? I'm bursting. I really need to go to the bathroom, but I can't really leave right now, you know? It sucks. But we out here, boy. Very interesting developments here in price. It doesn't actually matter either or. I was just saying, which one do we want to enter long in, other than Nasdaq or the S&P? It doesn't really matter either or, because the one is a breaker, one's a mitigation. If either one of them fails, the whole setup essentially fails. So it doesn't actually matter which one you go for. But you do need to look at them as a married couple, okay? They will work together. If institutional order flow is right and you have positioned yourself correctly, then both will essentially work out. If you don't know what a breaker or mitigation is, yo, chaps, got a lot to learn. So do I. Right, Nasdaq has just taken out that particular level. And it does look like we are going to get a possible entry on one of our indices within the next couple of seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hover over here. There we go. Fucking take that away, bro. You're in my way, dog. Okay, we want to enter the Nasdaq or the S&P, but the thing is I can't fucking see anything with this thing, bruv. Get out of my way. Alright. So, ideally we would have already been in the move and we would be catching these pips. One thing I don't like, however, is the fact that we've just taken our buy side on current day high. I know I've been saying this, but ideally you just don't see that yet. Even though it's not a train smash. It's not a. But yeah, I mean, you would ideally want to see these specific things pan out so far. So we are retracement. I just don't know if I want to get in as of yet. Because we've taken our buy side in 2 pairs. I don't like the fact that we've done that. I would have ideally been in the position before Nasdaq had taken out its particular buy side level. But if I was looking to go long, it would be in this particular order block right now. Okay. It will go up. It will go up because buy side is still open in previous day high. It should go up. Yeah, so if we do get an entry, if we can come back down here, I'm gonna go long. Likewise, I need to see price return here. Fingers crossed we do get one little more sweep down on the S&P. If we can do that, we'll go long. See a push down. Let's see a push down a little bit more. Just a little bit more on the S&P, we should be good. Alright, so I have gone long on the S&P 500. Stops are placed. looking for 1:2. If we can get 1:2, great. If not, we will be taking a loss on this particular trade setup. Will be a little bit unfortunate, but it's not really much we can do with regards to that right now. On the trade, we just need to focus on managing a specific setup. What I can do is put it on full screen so you guys can have a look. What I will also do over here is just constantly sift through these particular ones so that we have a full screen of both. So we're currently in a floating loss of about $50. I personally don't like the reason that I don't like how I went long after we've taken our buy side. Ideally, when we do these sculpting strategies, we still don't have current day high or low taken, or the direction in which we are essentially going towards is still open on all of them. So we've seen it close in the Nas, also the Dow, the Nas and the S&P. So yeah, like I said, not really my favorite setup to have taken, but we've taken it nevertheless. Does not look like the S&P is going to go with us. We're probably going to get stopped out here. Silly trade. But we're also not going to get emotional here. We're just going to let the trade pan out. I mean, it could very much still go up. And that pretty much means we're out. Okay, we're gonna cut that loss right there. Very quick. Very painful. First loss of the live stream, but unfortunate. Okay, but what I am gonna do now is I'm actually just gonna go short right here, right now, on the completely dependent on how we close on either the Dow or the S&P. So stay tuned for that. See if we can't recover our loss. I will need a calculator back. Passing the Nasdaq with this one. That happened, mate. There's not really much you can do about it. Silly mistake. I'm fairly certain that was my problem, was that I was trying to scalp towards the upside, but we had already taken the liquidity on two of those particular pairs. Don't really want to do that. So first loss, you guys will see there it is. Unfortunate, still up on the week. But it's a good lesson learned. So what I've done now is essentially just go over my indices and mark out what my bias is. Now I was bearish on two of them, two of three. I should have known just by default it wouldn't have been a good idea to do that, but it's one of those things. We can still position ourselves in a winning trade. I would, however, have liked to see that buy side level be taken. But again, guys, it's a lesson. I've done this in live in front of you. I now need to hold myself accountable so that I don't make that particular mistake again. And Lord knows I do not want to. So, chaps, stay tuned. Enjoy the music, and I will let you know what my thoughts are. For right now, we'll probably be looking to realign ourselves with a bearish trade or short within the market because we've taken it long. The long has not worked. Institutional order flow is clearly not on our side. We are offside. So the only thing we can do now is go short. All right. We still have liquidity levels available to us, so that's what we're going to be doing. That's our plan. We do not. Alright guys, as you can see, I have confessed my wrongs in going long, but now we're looking to go short. Alright, so we want to position ourselves accordingly. We are either going to take a continuation or a reversal, but for right now I do think that our continuation model will probably be the most probable, and also the most likely. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know. Fairly frustrated with that previous trade. Just a silly mistake by me. I honestly should not have done that, but you know, this is where it is. We just have to learn. We just gotta make sure we don't do shit like that again, because that's just unacceptable. Alright, so stay tuned. My shift has now somewhat changed from bullish to bearish. I am completely bearish now, and a good reason for that is because of the loss we just took. Should price have been bullish, we would have completely continued through that particular buy side level, and perhaps even gone for buy side on the Dow Jones found on the right. But because that's now been invalidated and we've essentially lost that particular trade, we are now going to be looking to go short. So stay tuned for right now. I'm going to be trying to frame our common fair value gaps in form of SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Bottom line, it should act as a roof. Hopefully price will knock it head and just tumble all the way down. But stay tuned for that. Guys, enjoy the music. As always, I will let you guys know what my thoughts are as they go through my head and whatnot. I see that there is one person viewing. I want to give a massive shout out to you. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for your time. And hopefully I can recoup that win as well as put you in somewhat a profit. So let me know what your thoughts are, what you like, how you got here, and stay tuned for the summary coming up soon. Cool. Alright, right now there's not a whole bunch I can do. We don't have any inefficiencies in price from a 5-minute perspective. We would have to wait for a 15-minute candle to form, even a half an hour. But it's pretty clear that we are heading towards the downside, especially on the Dow. Dow should hit that south side level first. Now, fingers crossed we do get a inefficiency before we hit that particular level, of which we can essentially retrace into, and then come up with a viable plan to go short and recoup the loss that we have just taken. That would be an ideal scenario. Now we don't only want to end the day on break even, but we want ourselves in a profit. So we need to make over $130. I'm thinking of risking about $150 next. Completely dependent on what type of setup we get. Don't, however, think that we will get anything too big. So yeah, stay tuned. We are yet to take out any current day liquidity on the Dow, so that is actually a very good point for us to start off with. Like I said, we're just looking for a inefficiency to form now. Preferably it'll be on the 5-minute. We don't have any present, so we need a fresh inefficiency to form, and I will obviously be marking that out as soon as that forms. We will be looking at price as soon as it trades into that particular level, and we are going to be looking for shorts. So I'm bearish on the XP, and I am bearish on the Dow Jones. I am only looking to sell this particular market. Alright, stay tuned, enjoy the music, and get it. Alright, so we are moving rapidly down. It does look like this 5 minute could be our inefficiency that we are looking for. Now, once we form this particular inefficiency, I would ideally see us trade back into it before the Dow takes out sell side. Alright, that would just be the highest probability outcome. Now, if price does not do that, it takes out buy side immediately, probably not going to be looking to trade. Alright, very silly loss on that last particular trade. But again, you kind of just have to learn from these particular lessons. Just need to make sure that I learn that lesson, that it doesn't happen again. But like I said, we are only looking to go short in this particular market for this AM session. So for the remainder of this next hour, we're only looking to go short or sell. Alright, stay tuned. I will keep you guys updated. But ideally within the next 1 minute 15 seconds, we will see a bearish close on this 5-minute candle, followed by another bearish close or whatever candle. But hopefully this particular 5-minute candle gives us that inefficiency. We'll just need to stay tuned. Only time will tell whether it will, whether it won't. So guys, I will keep you guys updated and let you know. Alright, so you guys might be wondering why I've drawn out that grey box. That grey box is essentially just a common 15-minute inefficiency. It's the only common inefficiency we have formed thus far. And should price return to that specific level, I'll be looking for shorts. If we do not get that level, then, well, no trades for today. As soon as the Dow takes out its particular level, I'm no longer gonna be looking to go short or long, because all of my indices will have taken some form of liquidity. So that'll be pretty unfortunate if we don't get that trade, especially if we leave here with the loss. But we are gonna leave here with the lesson regardless. We know exactly what we've done. Wrong, very silly mistake on my behalf, trying to buy after we've taken out buy side liquidity in the form of current day high. Fucking idiot, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. Let that wound fester somewhat, and we're just gonna have to come back better. I don't know if we will see a return to that specific order block. Doesn't look like it at this point. We are just dipping down hard as ever. But yeah, really silly mistake. Hate it when that happens, but I mean, yeah, is what is. Not really much I can do about that now. Like I said, can only focus on what I can control. The trade is done. Now the only thing we can control is essentially learning from that, journaling that loss, making sure we don't repeat it again in future live streams. So stay tuned. If we do see a return into this particular block on any of our assets, I will be looking to go short. But if we take out sell side first, then there's nothing we can do. Alright, stay tuned. I will see you soon, or I'll chat soon. I was just saying to myself now, it's essentially the sequence in which things happen. So we were on the 1 minute, we had just formed our market maker buy model, but as soon as we formed it, the very next minute took out buy side liquidity. So as soon as buy side liquidity or sell side is taken, we need to essentially disregard anything that has happened prior to that. So what I should have done in the ideal scenario is, yes, calculate my contract size, everything like that. But the moment buy side was taken, I should have immediately disregarded that and essentially started from scratch. And that's what we're going to do henceforth. So we will still mark out those levels, but if the Nasdaq, the S&P, or the Dow take out this particular sell side level, I'm no longer interested. There's quite literally nothing for me to want to do after that. What we could see is maybe sell side rated on the Dow, like now, and then a slight retracement higher into another inefficiency, which I can already see there is probably one going to get marked out in the previous 5 minute candle at about 11:10, that 5 minute candle. But yeah, again, like yeah, remain patient. Very unfortunate. I fucking hate taking losses, I'll tell you that right now. Emphasis on the swear word before I said that, because it's a very painful thing to go through, especially now that it's live. But yeah, it's just, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's part of the game. I don't mind taking losses as long as I can find out exactly what I did wrong so that I mitigate that from ever happening again. Unfortunately, we have been able to do that. Like I said, I should have essentially just reset my entire technical approach as soon as we took out that specific buy side level. So everything prior to that was pretty good. But just, yeah, the buy side level was a bit of a fuck up, not gonna lie. Very unfortunate, very painful, but we just have to learn from that, ladies and gentlemen, and that's part of trading. It's very hard, it never gets easier, but you do tend to get a lot more skillful. So I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully we can see a common inefficiency form now with the close of this 5 minute candle. And from there we will look to take a short, but I'd like to reiterate the fact that I'm only looking to take shorts. I'm not interested in taking any longs. We've already taken a long and we've lost. I've put it on the live chat for you guys to essentially use as a reference point. But the moment we take out this sell side, the probability of us getting a trade is just a lot lower. But yeah, we are going to remain patient. We're going to see what we can do with the remainder of the session. Ideally, we do close here with a loss. With a, what am I saying? Ideally, we close the session with a win. But if we don't get that, it's not really much we can do other than learn from the losses we've experienced today. So, guys, see you soon. Well, I'll chat to you soon. And let's just see what this 5 minute candle does. Alright, so as we can see, we've just traded back into that common 5-minute SIBI. Now, that is what we would have wanted to see, ideal. Well, that is ideal for us because we want to essentially try and pan a setup. Now what we need to see is a SMT, which comes in the form of a liquidity sweep or raid. And then we need to see a change in state of delivery before the Dow can essentially take out its particular setup. I am going to be going through today's price action just so that I can see exactly what the sequence of events was. I'm not too sure if we... I need to see when we took out buy side on ES, then I need to see when we made the I can actually just do it right now, to be honest. Alright, so yeah, S&P hit buy side, then we had our then we changed the state and delivery, but the problem was when we changed the state and delivery here, we hit the buy side here. So I was essentially fucking dumb is what I was. That's frustrating. Very frustrating. But it is what it is, isn't it? There's not much we can do about it now. We could oversee a possible setup. Okay, and what I'll do now is just mark out this common swing point. Surely there are better lines. What the fuck? Perf. Right, so guys, right now this is looking pretty good for us. Alright folks, I'm gonna be right back. Sorry, man, I completely forgot about you lot. So I'm just pretty locked in right now. I'm trying to paint a possible scenario as to why I would want to go short in this particular market right now. Now the problem is that we've essentially violated this specific SIBI. Um, Thing is, I can't go short, so that's like completely out of the fucking picture. Um, but yeah, I just don't like the fact that we've once again taken out that specific high. We could not do that on our other one. Um, we're just gonna remain patient. Like I said, uh, we need to see proper confluences come into play. Can't be second guessing things, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Even though it does look like price is probably going to leave us behind. It's a good learning lesson right now to rather just stay on our hands, see what happens. First trade we took was just stupidity at its finest, and it was live. So roast me in the comment section because it's what I deserve. Alright, I'll see you. Okay, we've missed that setup. Frustrating. That's what our ideal trade would have looked like now. Could still go short, but yeah, rather not, especially considering how close the Dow is. Yeah, looks like we're just gonna have to rest and reflect on this loss. Ideally, we could have gotten this sculpt over here. Today's going to be a very good day. I'm going to look back at today and be like, okay, cool. That's exactly what I needed in order to just get a bit more data with regards to that specific. Okay, well, there you go. We've just hit YM. So, yeah, if you were in the trade, I would close. If not, do your own thing. But anyways, that is going to wrap up the the AM session for me. Very, very, very frustrating. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I mean, there's not really much we can do about it at this specific given point, or given the specific whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. It's unfortunate, it really is. So that open comes in at 7.344. Then the close of this candle comes in at 7.344. So 7.344 and 7.344. It's not higher, it's not lower, it's even as long as it's not higher. And the reason I say that, look at this here swing point. If we look at that open, it is 857.50. If we look at this close, it is 868. So 868 is higher than 857. Alright, and that's my point. And the reason I was looking at that is it is a common swing point. Now, the only reason I did not feel comfortable entering this one specifically was the fact that on the Dow, we went a little bit higher on that particular candle right over there. However, we immediately came back down to essentially change the state in delivery. But I would have also wanted to see us close above, which we essentially did do. We did close above, which is great and whatnot. But anyways, guys, fucking hard session this was. Technically, no. The first trade we took, we know why it was a loss. And I'll break it down, alright? If you are watching, congrats, because I'm about to spill all the beans live for free, okay? So the first trade we were looking to buy, and the reason we were looking to buy is because we had not yet taken out any buy-side liquidity. Then we took our buy-side liquidity on the S&P. Thereafter, we retraced into our 5-minute common fair value gap, and we essentially had our market maker buy model. But the moment we had confirmation on that market maker buy model, we essentially went, tapped, hit our buy side Nasdaq, alright? And just like we've done now, okay, the only difference is we've entered before we went for liquidity. So, Talana, as a rule of thumb, the next time you see a market maker buy model or a market maker sell model, it is valid, but you need to enter before buy side or sell side is taken, alright? Because buy side and sell side are my magnets. If 2 of 3 take it out, you already know this. Majority, minority, you've drilled this into your fucking head time and time again, alright? So this cannot happen again, I repeat. This type of behavior cannot happen again, alright? You're a professional, you are wanting to become the world's best at this particular niche or industry. You cannot afford for these mistakes to happen twice. Once, alright. For me, once, shame on me. Can't put whatever the fuck, bro, just not do it again. Damn. Don't want to be having these discussions with each other. Well, I do want to be having these discussions because it shows that we're learning and whatnot, but bruv, like, we can fucking win and learn same time, no? Surely. Alright, that's gonna wrap it up. Right now we've taken sell side. So if I had to give a rough estimate, alright, we're still bearish on the day. Okay? I would still be bearish on the day, but the problem comes in that the Dow is not taking sell side. It just makes it a little bit more complicated once we take those particular levels. And we should have learned that mistake, bro. What the fuck were you doing, bro? Yo, cousin. Homo. Yo. I don't like seeing this. Okay, but I am transparent, bro, at least. There you can see the trade we've taken today. It is the 10th of June. Don't worry about the times. I don't know how the MetaTrader times work, to be honest with you. But I don't know how many hours we would need to plus or minus to essentially come to our specific trade. Give me 1 second and I can tell you right the fuck now. It was 1028 plus 6 is 1628. So minus 2. Okay, cool. So minus 2. So essentially plus 2. Alright? Plus 2 here. It was 1628 local time for me, which is about 4:30, or 28 minutes past 4. We entered that trade and then we exited that trade roughly 3 minutes later. 3 minutes, 3 seconds later with a loss. Yeah. I don't like losing. Fortunately, we found out why we've lost. Okay? And it's not luck. It was always part of the plan. It was quite literally just because, if you think about it, alright? I'll break it down for you real quick in the hopes that you guys don't make the same mistake. Okay? We've closed that dashboard because we are now done for the day. But yeah. Let's essentially break it down here on a 5-minute. Okay, we had our common 5-minute PD array on the S&P. just gonna have to play around with that particular model a little bit more, backtest it just a little bit more. But we essentially know what we've done wrong. Okay, let's just swap these over, put the Dow over there, S&P will stay, and we'll put the Nasdaq over here because we took the trade on the Dow. Even though we could have taken it on the Nas, we shouldn't even have taken it, bottom line, right? Okay, so over here, you'll see that this particular retracement, okay, because we were able to take it out over there on the Nasdaq, you can clearly see some weakness. Well, the Nasdaq's not willing, so strength on the Nasdaq, weakness on the Dow. The S&P. S&P is able to take out that specific point as well with the body. Thereafter, we slowly but surely shape. Now, we had already taken our previous day high and low and whatnot, and that was, yeah. So we've taken out buy side here. Then we form the market maker buy model. But note how on this candle we get the change in status delivery, which came on at 10:23. So 10:23 marks a change in status delivery on both the Nas and the Dow. But at the same time, the Nasdaq essentially goes ahead, closes that buy side. Now, buy side acts as my draw. Once 2 of 3 take it out. It was just fucking idiotic from me. There's not really any other way of putting it. Like I had already taken buy side on the S&P, so 1 of 3 had taken buy side. All right. Once the one other pair takes our buy side, we are done. Okay, we no longer have buy side as our draw on liquidity. Which explains why yesterday's continuation model would have worked, because we were looking to sell. Their Dow Jones has just taken our previous day low, which was always overdrawn liquidity. It was either previous day low or high. We just got a little bit unfortunate with the misuse of our directional bias. But anyways, chaps, I mean, it's fucking part of the game. Very frustrating, believe me. But anyways, so why yesterday's price action would have worked so much better than essentially they've still worked today. We've just got the bias somewhat wrong. We've taken a little bit of a loss, but we've also got the lesson to go with it. So not too bad, still bad. Now with the fuck it, no mate. See, that's it. Exactly, it's literally the same thing. Literally the same thing has repeated itself right here, right? We have our market maker sell model, we're in it, and in the moment it takes out that specific sell side level. So bottom line, Tolano, if we learn a lesson today, which Lord knows we are going to, and we're going to tramp this into our kunda until we fucking out, is our setups are valid, okay? Our analysis is spot on, perfect. We cannot do it better. The only thing we did wrong is essentially the sequence in which price action revealed itself, okay? Think about it. We've hit buy side on ES, okay? We still have 2 buy sides remaining. Then we form our market maker buy model. Then we hit buy side on Nasdaq before we get our entry, okay? That right there needs to tell you all you need to know, okay? So chaps, today was a win, alright? It may not display that in the numbers, but you know what, fuck it, today's not a win, but I'm going to come back, alright? I do apologize for any of you who's copying my trades. It is what it is. You've taken a loss. I'll make it right, okay? Bottom line, I'm going to make it right. But that pretty much wraps up the session. Frustrating, definitely insightful, for sure. Don't care what the fuck you say, because I learned something. But guys, like I said, that is a wrap. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pause all of our notifications. I'm going to thereafter delete all of these particular notifications just so that we can start fresh tomorrow morning once more. Frustrating on the day. I will show you guys my MetaTrader 4 terminal real quick so you lot can see exactly what trades we have taken for today. That way I am fully transparent in what I do. So we've taken 2 trades yesterday, both of which were sells, and we've just highlighted why those sells work because we still had 2 or 3 indices with the sell side open. Technically, all three still had sell side open. So the draw towards the downside was impeccably strong. Whereas today we tried to long a market where two of our buy side levels were already traded to. Like, hello, the fuck's wrong with you, mate? Anyways, okay, yesterday we took two trades. We left with a profit of roughly $308 on the day. And today we've taken a loss of $133. So we are technically still up $175 on the week. But yeah, the unfortunate thing is yesterday we only risked about $100 in order to make $300, and today we've gone ahead and risked $150 to lose $130. So not good at all. Now we could have essentially just rerouted ourselves, but I still wouldn't have taken the short today because of the S&P trading past that particular point. But I just needed to look at the body. Once again, the body will tell you the story. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna spend the rest of the PM session today after I smoke some drugs. I did not just say that. I said it, bro. Whatever. Sue me. Alright. And then we're gonna go through these charts like never before, okay? Because we need to have full conviction moving forward that we understand this particular model. S&P is about to take its sell side level. So yeah, guys, like that right there tells you pretty much everything you need to. You're joking, bro. Oh, mate. Okay, but anyways, we would not have. No, we wouldn't have been able to because it took out that particular previous data. All right, well that's pretty much a wrap. It's a very unfortunate, but anyways, guys, bottom line, we want to go with the majority, and today we essentially went against the majority. So let that be a lesson, okay? I constantly preach about majority, minority, and now you guys will have a brief understanding exactly what I mean and why we want to position ourselves to go with the majority. But guys, it is 11:53. I'm gonna wrap it up there. I thank you all for watching, subscribing, commenting, doing your thing. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Now we have a bucket load of views as per normal. So guys, I'm gonna have to love and leave you. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's 9 a.m. Or 9:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till then, take care and have a fantastic day. Cheers.